if you think about the nature of where we've been in the past in terms of our ability for computers to assist with surgical practice or healthcare, I can understand why something like an automated surgical procedures could sound pretty far-fetched. And I also think that maybe the nature of, again, human adoption and the world that we've built now would make that kind of a scary thought. And I think that makes sense, that it would feel very scary. But if I think ahead, it's actually kind of hard for me as a technologist not to acknowledge that in theory makes sense as a future for surgery. And the reason I say that is because in the past we have had computerized systems helping with surgery and robotic systems. And the nature of the computer's role in this embedded system has been largely to calculate how to move the joints of the robot in order to get the desired end-effector position, and maybe some amount of processing an image to identify something of interest. And that's been done really with technologies that ultimately have the processing power in terms of calculations per second, maybe equivalent to an insect, maybe a mouse at the best. And that's kind of the state of where we've been in computing power for a reasonable cost outside of big supercomputers you can't put in an OR. And if you look ahead at the trends and what those curves look like, you get into a world where very soon we should be able to have this same computer with the processing power of a human brain. And in 20 years, or maybe a little more, outside of medical tech, the same cost point potentially being the computing power of the entire human race, all the people on Earth in one computer at surgery. And if you could imagine a system with that level of processing, with access to hundreds of thousands of procedures worth of information, if you could feed it with that and the outcomes, it's hard to imagine why that wouldn't be able to perform a more efficacious surgery than one individual human, regardless of their level of experience. And I think that might be a bit unsettling, but again, from a pure technology perspective, I think that's a reality that we need to acknowledge.